My family gave me the easy job of managing the books for our construction company because they thought I was too stupid to work the sites. For 10 years, I quietly moved 30% of every profit into an account they never knew about. This morning, the bank foreclosed on everything they own, and I own the bank that foreclosed on them. At every Sunday dinner, it was the same. My brother Mark, grease under his nails, would clap me on the back too hard. "How's the paperwork, Mikey? Staying clean in the AC?" My father would grunt. "Brains of the family. Good with his little numbers." They'd all laugh, a warm, patronizing chorus. The brains who'd flunked out of business school. The genius they'd never trust to pour a foundation. So they gave me the trailer office and the ledgers. A glorified clerk. For 10 years, I did my job perfectly. I paid the crews, handled the suppliers, and filed the taxes. And with every invoice paid, every client check deposited, I siphoned off my silent share. 30 cents on every dollar of profit. It vanished into a maze of shell companies and offshore holdings, a labyrinth I'd built in the lonely quiet of my easy job. The money wasn't for a fancy life, it was for seeds. The seed grew into First Merchants Trust, a modest regional bank. I was the silent majority owner, operating through a front man. I watched our family company, Sullivan & Sons, thrive on the sweat of my brothers and the disrespect they shoveled on me. They expanded, bought new equipment, took out loans. And when they needed their biggest line of credit to buy a rival company, the only bank willing to entertain their aggressive terms was First Merchants Trust. They signed the papers in my trailer, not knowing I owned the pen. The loan was a masterpiece. Predatory rates hidden in legalese, personal guarantees on all their assets, cross-collateralized with everything. They were too busy high-fiving to read it. I filed it away with a smile. The collapse was swift. A predicted supply chain delay? A key project I'd quietly underbid for them, a sudden call on their loan. They scrambled, but the cash flow was a sieve. I'd engineered the drought. The foreclosure notice came on a Tuesday. I was in the trailer when Mark stormed in, face purple, slamming the paper on my desk. "Mikey, what the hell is this? The bank's calling everything. The houses, the equipment, everything." I looked up calmly. "I warned you about over-leveraging, Mark. Back in April. We need the books. We need to see what we can move, what we can hide." "Of course," I said, standing. I opened the safe, not the one with the company ledgers, but my private one. I pulled out a single folder. "Here are your options." He snatched it, leafing through. His face went from anger to confusion to dawning, horror-struck understanding. It wasn't financial statements. It was the ownership documents for First Merchants Trust, with my name, clear as day, as the primary beneficiary. "You?" he whispered. "Me?" I nodded. "The brains of the family. Good with my little numbers." He stumbled out of the trailer, the folder dangling from his hand. The reckoning came at the now foreclosed family home. My father, brothers, their wives, all stood in the curated living room I'd paid for. The sheriff's deputy waited politely by the door. "You bankrupted your own family," my father spat, his life's work crumbling around him. "No," I corrected, my voice quiet. "I reclaimed my investment. For 10 years, I was your silent partner. You paid me in disrespect, so I took my dividend in equity. The houses, the trucks, the company name, it was all built, in part, with my stolen labor. Now I'm repossessing it." "We're your blood," my sister-in-law cried. "You were my employers," I said. "And you were terrible ones." I turned to the deputy. "They have 10 minutes to remove personal effects." I walked out to my car, a modest sedan, not a flashy truck. As I drove away, I didn't look at the family staring from the window. I looked at the blueprint on my passenger seat for a new project, a series of affordable housing units. The first building would be named The Clerk's Rise. The revenge was complete. The rebuilding on my own terms had just begun.